This is the first video as we built the Nakusp and Slocan Railway in 1906 in G-scale. If you look at the map, at Nakusp is the starting point where we had a stern-wheeler wharf and a rail barge slip on the Arrow Lakes. From Nakusp we went to Brose, and then we went uphill at a 2.5% grade up to Summit Lake, down at a 2.5% grade to Hills, from Hills to Rosebery where we had a steamer wharf and barge slip on the Slocan Lake. From Rosebery, we started up again a 2.5 to 3% grade up through Denver Canyon, all the way up to Three Forks. And from Three Forks, we head up to Sandon at a 4.5% grade. This video will be the first build out of the railway, showing how we're building the Nakusp to Brose portion. This is the start of the Nakusp and Sandon G-scale railway in Vernon. We'll give you an overview of the areas we're going to build in, and then we'll follow through the whole build progress. So the first area that we have available to us is a 16 by 13 foot finished room. A bit of bench work already started, and a bit over here started. This is where Nakusp will be and Sandon. We're also taking over the cupboard, the closet, so that will be where the turntables are. And coming back this way, there were a couple cupboards that have been emptied out, which was where we'll put some bench work. Second cupboard that we will have run through. And the last cupboard will be a walkthrough to the other room. Okay, we've finished building the open framework in the first room here in the, let's call it the Nakusp room. Here we've got the open frame. The open frame is basically a 1x4 framework with 1x2s coming out to follow the topography of the track. So you can see them all the way going down to the end of the room. What you'll notice here is that they actually follow the curvature of the track so that there won't be a fascia. And the reason they're pointed is because the scenery can then come down and end at the end and you won't see any wood or fascia or anything else. So the scenery will start at the points and go up to the track work. We've also added the creeks. So we have our first bridge coming out into Nakusp. The plywood is the water level. We're along Slocan Lake here. So we've got water all the way along Slocan Lake coming into Nakusp. We have the creek at the beginning of Nakusp cut into the wood. And then we follow the Arrow Lakes at Nakusp along through in the front of the wharf here. And we come up on the barge slip and into Nakusp itself. Okay, now we're going to follow train number 61 as it leaves Nakusp. This is a 440, pulling a couple passenger cars. This is the daily Nakusp to Sandon train. So we're just leaving the Nakusp station. We have the barge slip in front of us. You can see the rail cars on the barge, 6 rail cars on the barge, water tower, and we'll be just pulling off onto the main here in Nakusp. All this plywood area will become water. This is the Arrow Lakes at Nakusp. And they followed the track on the outskirts. And once we finish going parallel to the Arrow Lakes and across the bridge, we'll start a 2.5% grade uphill towards Summit Lake. So now we're hitting the grade, so the engine's going to have to start working a bit harder. You can hear it working here now. Coming out in the big curve. And basically up here as we come to this point, we will come to the junction for Summit Lake and the junction going to Rosebery at Hills. And coming off the turnout, we come back through here and we see the Hills station. And the track ends here at this point because at this point we will be adding a floor to track level trestle, about a 40-inch trestle curving into the room. So that's all we have done right now. We're going to be taking a break for the summer and we'll be back in September to continue the next room.